Hello, everyone. Well, welcome to another live broadcast. My name's Tom Soane, and just wanted to answer the question that's asked all the time, not just by property investors, but by people that own property, that are thinking of moving, thinking of buying, all of that stuff. And the question is it a good time to sell right now? And is it a good time to buy right now? And that can relate to many different people. Like I say, whether you're looking to sell a property or whether you're looking to buy a property, if that's for yourself or if it's for a property investor, doesn't matter. So what prompted me to do this video is that I just had a call with David. Now, David got in touch with me. He'd watched a couple of videos from me and on my Facebook page, which was basically just describing a load of property investment and my predictions for the market after lockdown, all that sort of stuff. And I had a really good chat with David about his situation. And my advice from that, and I rattled off a load of advice. You know what my advice is like. I just reel off all this advice, and it's a lot of waffle. But if you pick out the good bits from it, then you get some really good advice in there too. So anyway, my advice from that was really good advice for home movers, for investors, and there's a little bit of an opportunity here, which I think a lot of property investors might have missed. So I had this call with David and he gave me his situation. It was a one-to-one call. Anyway, David lived in a family house for 23 years. All of his kids have now moved out. So him and his missus are just rattling around in this big family house, and they basically made the decision that they want to downsize, right? And this is all what his advice or his situation was, and I'll tell you about how this relates to property investing in a second, because there's a definite opportunity that I can't wait to share with you. Anyway, so him and his missus are rattling around in this big family home, and he'd seen my videos on Facebook, got in touch, and we've just had a one-to-one call just before lunchtime today. So he explained the situation, and like I say, his question was, is it a good time to buy or is it a good time to sell? What should I do, Tom? He asked for my advice about what the market was doing, about what investments are doing, and so on. So I'm going to share that advice with you and also show you the opportunity that I just mentioned for property investors. It's a really exciting time for anybody who wants to invest in property. So first of all, the advice for selling, that was the question. Should he sell his property now or wait? Well, look, let me tell you this. Family homes are selling like absolute hotcakes. I don't know how fast hotcakes actually sell, but if there are any bakers watching this at any point, then do let me know. How quickly do hotcakes sell? But anyway, look, lockdown has sent demand soaring for family homes. And I think it's because people have decided they want more space, an extra bedroom, a garden, maybe change locations. And then you add the stamp duty relief to that. That's really rocketed everyone, because everyone's able to move property and save a bit of money too. So I think you add that to the whole lockdown situation where people want more space and a garden, a location, and then you give them a saving opportunity. I think people go for it. So then you'll add to that, there's been a bottleneck, I think a bottleneck effect, if you like, of everybody that during lockdown or just before lockdown were thinking about moving. They couldn't, all of a sudden, they couldn't move because of lockdown. I think that sent loads of people into a bottleneck of being able to, or wanting to move but not being able to. So then as soon as we come out of lockdown, that's when everyone starts to move. And that's why demand has gone right up here. Then you add into it all of the incentives the government are bringing out, stamp duty and all of those things. That adds to the demand. So right now, if you're going to sell a property, then right now the demand is high. So you're probably going to get a little bit of extra money for your family home. But as a warning, that's not going to last forever, because as soon as demand is really high, then the stock eventually, and stock being the number of properties available, stock eventually catches up with the demand. That's why whenever you look at any graphs or graphics of any sale activity, property sale activity, it always goes like that, up, down, because, or it kind of goes like that, up, down a bit, up, down a bit, up, down a bit, because the demand is high and then the stock catches up with it, so the demand levels out. and then it takes something like this for demand to shoot back up again, and we have that same thing all over. So my advice was to actually, I think you should sell now. I think you might grab yourself an extra couple of % in your sale price. You'll also get a couple of extra % because your buyers can afford an extra couple of % because of the stamp duty relief, and the demand is high. So I think, look, my prediction, or my bold statement, if you like, is to say, sell your property now. If you want to sell it now. Now, I can't really comment right now about how many of those sales are going to fall through, but I don't think family homes are too badly affected right now. That's a whole different video. Anyway, so that's the advice for selling. Now the advice for buying. Look, the first-time buyer market has been hit. So whilst I've advised David to sell the property now and probably get a little bit of extra money, the advice for buying a property is that he's looking to downsize, right? So the chances are he's going to go from a family-sized property down to a smaller property, maybe a flat or a smaller house, something like that. Now you're starting to look into the first-time buyer market that has been hugely affected by mortgage lenders withdrawing a lot of the products that first-time buyers would be interested in. Deposits are needing to be higher. The bank's lending criteria gets tighter. You have to be more than squeaky clean nowadays as a first-time buyer to get a mortgage, because the lenders are just uncertain about what the property prices are going to do. So right now, there are lots of first-time buyer type properties stuck on the market. And anyone who's looking to upsize, they might be struggling, because think about it. If you are in a two-bedroom flat, right, a little two-bedroom flat, your prime market for buying are going to be first-time buyers. And if you've got less first-time buyers to sell to, your demand is going to be slightly lower. But if you want to move from that two-bedroom flat into a family home because you've had children or whatever, then you're going to have to spend a bit more, because currently family homes are in high demand. So there are going to be a lot of first-time buyer type properties on the market struggling to sell. Now, the problem is that if you're looking to downsize and you're looking to move into a two-bedroom flat, there are going to be a lot of those smaller first-time buyer properties that are unable to, where the owners are unable to move out because they can't get into the property they want to get into unless you buy theirs. So overall, if you're looking to sell and buy, move out of your property, move into another, then my advice to you is sell high and buy low. And it's just a brilliant calculation. What an easy calculation. Sell high, buy low. There is that opportunity out there right now. Unless you're buying a bigger family home, then the chances are it's all going to be relative. But investments, and this is the exciting bit. Where is there a major opportunity for property investors right now? And I don't know how long this will last. And I'm only sharing this because I can't buy them all. And my property investor clients can't buy them all. And I certainly can't go and source all the properties on the market like this. So I want to share this with you so you've got the insight too. But here's my tip for property investing right now. Start looking at 1 and 2 bedroom flats and 1 and 2 bedroom smaller houses at the lower end of the price bracket, or the lower end price of the market, if that makes sense. Now, then once you have a look at those, just get them all on Rightmove. Search for an example. I'm in Portsmouth, so I search all of the properties in Portsmouth, and there are 1 and 2 bed flats, 1 and 2 bed houses of a smaller size. And then I check the demand on those places. Now, if there are lots of properties in that category on the market, all of those first-time buyer type properties are stuck on the market because not as many first-time buyers can buy them. Then if there's lots of properties on the market, then you have an opportunity to buy low. And that's just simple social science, if you like. If there's high demand and you want to buy a property in that high demand, then you're going to have to pay more. If there's low demand, meaning lots of stock available, then you might be able to get it for a bargain. So you can check the demand, go to Rightmove and again, search, let's just say 1 and 2 bedroom houses in Portsmouth, right? That's my area. If there are 30 properties on the market, on the market right now, that there's reasonably low demand for that type of property. You might be able to get one of them for a bargain. Now, you might have to make a lot of offers for that, but you might get one of them at a bargain. Next, to really check the demand, click on the filters button and then add sold subject to contract or sale agreed properties. So if there were 30 properties on the market, but there are 30 properties that are sale agreed, so now you're seeing a total of 60 properties, now you know that there's actually quite a good balance of demand versus a good balanced out demand. But if it's like 30 properties on the market and 5 properties sold, now you know there's low demand. Not many of these properties are selling at the current price. So you might now be able to go in, and if that property's on the market for 100 grand and it's been on the market for a few months and you can see that there's low demand, you can go to the agent and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, my offer is 75 grand. Pick yourself up a bargain. You're not going to get every low offer that you make, but you might get 1 in 10 or 2 in 10. I always try and work on an 80-20 rule. If I see 10 properties and I make 8 offers, I should get 2 of them through. That's generally the way you should look at it. But yeah, anyway, calculate your yield. Don't forget your yield and make your offer based on the yield for that property. Certainly if you're looking to buy to let and you're looking to keep hold of it and rent it out, calculate your yield, make your offer, and stick by your offer. Don't go too high. Just say, hey, thank you very much, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, or thank you very much, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. That's my offer based on this calculation, and I don't want to take the mickey out of you, so this is my offer. Anyway, so always remember as well, in this sort of situation where property prices are a little bit weird, try and make sure that you're buying for long term too. You might decide to just lower your yield requirement just slightly, just a little bit, just for now. So rather than making 15% per year yield, you're going to make 12% just for now, because you know that property prices are going to go back up. They always do. And if you buy with a lower yield now, it might well make a much higher yield in the future. So grab yourselves a bargain. Check out those first-time buyer type properties, 1 and 2 bedroom flats, smaller 1 and 2 bedroom houses at the lower end of the property price market, and you will pick yourself up a little bargain. Anyway, so just to recap, if the question is, should I sell now or should I buy now? The answer is, if you've got a family home, then now is a really good time for you to be selling that property. If you're looking to downsize, you are really going to do well, because the first-time buyer type of properties are not doing so well, whereas the family homes are doing very well. So you could sell high, you can buy low, and therein lies a little tip for you investors out there. If you want to pick up a bargain, check out the first-time buyer type properties and let me know how you get on. Hey, do you know what? I hear a lot of people asking me questions and advice. I get so many messages through my Facebook page and by email that I always try and get through to them all. I try and speak to every single person that messages me. So it just takes me a bit of time, because obviously I get so many of them, but I will get to you eventually. But I really want to know your examples as well. I don't really get many people messaging me with examples of properties they've bought or properties they're looking at. And if you want a bit of advice on any properties you've found, then just whiz me a message. Tell me the numbers. Tell me what sort of property you're looking at, and I'll calculate your yield with you. I'll calculate your true yield as well. That's really important. And I'll help you work out if it's a good enough property or not. Just message me through Facebook. Or, as always, email me, tom@pinkstreet.co.uk. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to help out. But until then, I wonder who's going to join in with me. Because my name is Tom Soane,